If you've got a taste for travel and an appetite for antiques, join us at today's French market to see which team of bargain spotters has a thirst to be first. Welcome to Guérande in Brittany, northwest France. Guérande is situated in the Loire-Atlantique area of France, but until 1941 was part of Brittany, and its links with Breton culture and history are very much alive today. The region is also famous for its salt marshes, but we're here for its antiques market. So let's hope today's two teams will bring in a bumper harvest of French bargains, because they'll have to sell a lot back in the UK, and whoever makes the most profit will be the winner. So let's meet today's contestants. Our first contestant today is June. June has lived abroad for many years, so she's quite used to finding bargains from all over the world.
If you walk into my house, you'd think you were walking into Africa, because we've lived a long time in Africa. And initially on holiday, memorabilia, but then more lately, having lived there, we've become much more discerning and the pieces become much nicer.
And June knows just what she's looking for in France.
Personally, I'd be looking for dolls, because I collect dolls myself from different countries that we've lived in.
Helping June to sort the gems from the junk is expert Jonty Herndon, whose speciality is furniture. Having begun his career as a cataloguer, he knows what to look for and what will sell back in the UK. Competing with June today is her friend Millie. They met overseas, so it's a very international friendship.
Well, June and I met in Hong Kong, actually. Our husbands were working there, and I was actually living there full-time. And June came out on holiday, and as the dutiful wife, you entertain wives that come on holiday, and we just hit it off, and we've been friends ever since. It's been wonderful.
Millie's very well-travelled and has haggled all over the world.
The most fascinating place that I bought antiques has to be in Guangdong province in China. There used to be a little alleyway, the street name was Daihalu, and you used to have all the traders setting up the stalls, and it was just absolutely fascinating.
Helping Millie to sort the treasure from the trash is professional dealer Mark Franks. Together they'll be haggling hard in the hopes of beating June and Jonty to the prize. Morning, bargain spotters!
Morning, Chris.
Good morning, Chris.
June, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. I'll be better later on. I don't like getting up early in the morning.
You're one of these late starters,
Yes,
June,
I
are you?
am, yeah.
And what are you looking for?
Well, I like collecting dolls myself, so I'm hoping that we will find some today.
I hope you will. Jonty, do you think you will?
Well, the French have an amazing pedigree as far as antique dolls are concerned. It'd be really exciting. We found something for June today, yeah.
Good luck to you both. And good morning to you, Millie.
Good morning,
Is it
Chris.
too early for you as well?
No, I'm an early bird. I like to be there for the bargain.
It shows. And what are you looking for, Millie?
Maybe things for the garden and the home, and hopefully things that sell.
Mark, what do you think of that then?
Well, if I've got an early bird and stuff for the garden, we've got to be looking for worms, surely. No, but seriously, anything that makes a profit, that's OK with me. I don't care what we buy, so long as there's a profit in it.
Glad to hear it. Good luck to you too. Now, I know you're itching to go off and spend this money, but wait a minute. There's £350 worth of euros in here for each of you. But remember to ask yourselves, is it collectible or is it rejectable? June, there's your money bag. And Millie, yours.
Chris.
Experts, your books.
Good luck,
Right,
Chris.
are
Good
you
luck.
ready to go?
Yes. Yeah.
Belt up, it's time to buy.
Alrighty.
I'll tell you a really good way of dating glass, because glass is really difficult to date. Now, you see the handle, it's got the sort of fat bit at the bottom going up to the thin bit at the top. Now, in 1860, they used to put the big bit at the top, coming to the thin bit at the bottom, and they changed that over in about 1860. So we now know that the strongest piece is at the bottom, and that's after 1860.
Whilst the teams are spending their money, let me tell you how it all works. Using their £350 worth of euros, both teams must buy at least 10 items to take back to the UK. Once home, they have to sell everything at a local antiques market, and whoever makes the most money will be declared the winner. So let's see how they're getting on.
Well, you have it, but I don't know how old it is.
I've just spotted this, and I always wanted to show you this. This is what we call an escutcheon, which is quite...
Again?
An escutcheon.
Escutcheon.
This is quite simply a decoration for a lock. So you see here
right,
the key.
Yes, I see.
That's the keyhole itself.
Yes.
And the rest is simple decoration. Very, very French. Now, an escutcheon like this would be placed on the outside of an armoire. An armoire was a large two-door cabinet, which often would have housed a newlywed's belongings. So it's a massive, great big cabinet.
that's nice.
So here you see the significance of the gentleman,
couple.
the lady and the gentleman. They're a young
Right.
couple.
Yes.
And the religious significance here of the crucifix on the top.
Uh-huh.
I think they're lovely things because they're so typically French.
Right.
You do not get this kind of escutcheon in English French at all.
I see.
And it could have been love at first sight if there'd been a pair of escutcheons to fit 2 wardrobe doors. But it's not worth buying one, so that's June and Jonty's first rejectable. But I'm sure there'll be plenty to choose from today at Mesquer Market, just 15 minutes drive from Gironde. It's an all-day market open from 9 a.m. and is on 3 times during July and August each year.
What on earth is this, Mark?
It looks like the hub out of the centre of a cartwheel.
Oh,
Yeah?
now that
So you'd have all the bits that come out and attach to the outside of the wheel.
Right.
It's quite a lump, isn't it?
It is, it's a weight.
Do you like it?
No, I really like it. I could just imagine some flowers on... No, seriously, it would look super, wouldn't it?
How much
So
is
it all
that?
depends on the price because there's a little sweet little bedside alarm clock, Art Deco. Are you clear about what Art Deco is?
1950s?
No, it's slightly earlier than that.
Oh, is it really?
It was actually introduced in France about 1925.
Oh, no, I didn't realise.
And it was a big move away from that very naturalistic look,
Right.
which was Art Nouveau.
Yeah.
This was a move away
Right.
into much more geometric lines and
Right.
patterns. So here, do you see how
Much-
clean these lines
Yeah,
are?
much plainer, really.
That's exactly what we're looking at. So this
Right,
clock is,
okay.
is Art Deco. And rather nicely, it says Made in France on the underside
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Oh, I like it. How much is it? Let's find out.
Shall we find out? Yeah. Right. Combien, monsieur, s'il vous plaît? This, €10, £7. I
These?
don't think you can really go far wrong with that, can you?
Millie and Mark snapped up that cartwheel hub for £7. Looks like June spotted something else on the same stall as the Art Deco clock. But what is it? Some kind of castle ornament?
Ah, I know.
Yes.
It's
What is it?
a desk set.
Yeah.
Room for the pen. I suppose the ink would go in there, would it, do you think?
In these 2 compartments here on the side.
Tiny ones.
Yeah.
They move that.
But it's wonderfully novel, isn't it?
Oh, Mark, a fish kettle. That's quite nice.
Oh, that's nice. I do like
It is, isn't
I'm
it?
I'm quite keen on enamel, I must admit. And I really like that.
And you have the...
Do you know what? It doesn't even matter whether
Does
that's
it
there or
not?
not.
Right.
Because the simple reason I say that is someone would buy that as a decorative item, like the hexagon shape. They call this chicken wire.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are, made in France. Lovely.
So lovely they bought it for a very reasonable £7. But June and Jonty's castle desk set is just £3.
Yeah.
That is so cheap.
So we won't even ask the lowest
Well,
price.
no, excuse me. Excuse me, I've got to make you a dealer. You always ask for a better price.
Right,
Rule number
okay.
1, all right? Beginning of the day, rule number 1, always ask for a better price.
Right.
All right?
And Jonty's haggled £7 off, getting a deal of £13 for that charming Art Deco clock and the quirky castle desk set. Gironde is situated just south of Brittany in the Loire-Atlantique region of northwest France. The easiest way to get there is to fly directly from the UK into nearby Nantes. Now, Gironde is no longer part of Brittany, yet everywhere you go, you'll see this flag, the Breton flag, or Gwenadu, which means white and black. It was invented in 1923. The stripes represent the ancient regions of Brittany, and in the top left-hand corner, you'll see the stylised ermine, which is from the original Duchy of Brittany's coat of arms. Well, let's hope our teams are battling for Britain back at the market.
Mark?
Millie.
Oh, I've just seen something. What do you think?
What, truth?
Yes, sure true.
I mean, look at the finish of the towel. It's just, it's very poor.
Is it? Yeah.
The artwork's poor, it's just poor. It's poor.
Is it? Okay, I'll put it back.
Before you put it back,
All right.
I've just counted these.
Oh, they look super.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Oh, absolutely.
They're enamel. They're
Yeah.
door numbers. You know, they have them on the houses.
Right.
There's 155 of them there,
Right.
and I've asked the guy the best price. He will do them for €50.
That doesn't seem too bad.
That's 25 pence each.
Snatch his hand off.
10 years ago, I was selling these and getting between £7 and £10 each for them.
Really?
I'm really over the moon. I'm not going to mess around. I want you to pay him and take that back.
Indeed.
Yeah?
You hold that, then I'll pay the man.
OK, Mark, you big bossy boots. I thought Millie was supposed to be in charge. Still, he does know his stuff. This is a great bargain at £30 for 155 French enamel house numbers. But I think Millie needs to put her foot down in future if she wants to get her own way in what they're buying. Meanwhile, June and Jonty are getting along like a house on fire.
Right, a fire screen. I think that's beyond my capabilities of repairing that.
It's what I call faded grandeur.
Millie, what about these?
Oh, what on earth are they for?
They're capitals. So if you, for example, if you've got a beam running across the house, you know, like if you knock two rooms into one, you have that sort of beam.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have one of these at either side up against the ceiling, and they're called capitals. They're made of plaster, and these rods are put in to strengthen them. And they're lovely. They're nice original paint. There's a little bit of damage, which normally I'd say puts me off, but they're lovely pastel colours.
Right.
Beautiful.
And talking of damage, Jonty's silk screen has certainly seen better days.
The silk panel itself is original to the frame, and everything about this beautiful. It's a fire screen,
Yes.
so a screen like this would have been placed in front of a fire
Right.
to decorate the fire when it wasn't
When
being
it wasn't
used,
there.
but also used as a screen,
Right.
because the ladies in the 19th century and the 18th century, with their makeup, would have melted, quite literally melted in front of the fire.
I
So it was
see. Oh, I
important
see, yeah.
that ladies particularly had a screen.
Right, so the heat would have contributed to the damage of it?
Not necessarily. No, this is just perish. This is
Right.
natural perishing.
I
yeah.
see.
There's two there, and they're both, I would say, about 1880, 1900.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're superb.
They are
and what
very
about
nice.
that?
They're in vogue at the moment.
Interior
What's that?
designers will
Yeah.
actually love those. What about this? This is what we call a baby foot. It's a carrying one, okay? Now, inside there, it's a table football game.
Right.
Table football. Well, Millie doesn't sound too convinced. Can Mark persuade her into it?
Isn't that lovely? About 1940s, 1950s.
Right.
Do you like it?
Well, it's more of a boy thing, isn't it?
It is a boy's
It
toy.
is a boy thing, yes. I suppose it depends on the price. Do they sell well?
I normally do, because they're a
Right.
bit of fun, aren't they? You
Yeah,
know, people
yeah.
like them, they're a bit of fun.
I think Millie's still not convinced by Mark's boy's toy.
Right.
The way we date it is quite simply looking at the frame as well. And this gesso frame here is about 150 years old.
Is it really?
It's trying to be sort of Louis XVI,
But
but
what-
it's not. It's
made
a
of-
sort of a copy, really. It's
made
this
of
is
wood?
Plaster. It's wooden frame and plaster. Here we are. We've got a broken leg at the bottom here. We can see quite clearly how it's constructed. You see here we've got a soft wood, so it can be carved quite readily.
Right.
So this might well be a beech, something like that.
I see.
And on the outside, you've got a layer of plaster, which is called gesso. And on top of that, you gild on top of that.
I see.
So originally that would have been, if this had been Louis XVI, this would have been a gold leaf placed on top of it.
I
But
see.
it's not, this is a copy. So we're looking at a screen that's quite simply a good 150 years old.
Right.
The best price I can get is €100 for the three. That's £70. What do you think?
Well, I would never buy them in a month of Sundays. I mean, so you have to have the right sort of property for those, and you have to have the room for that. I know you can fold it up,
Yeah.
but...
It may not
You
fit
know
into your surroundings, but to an interior designer, we're looking at something they would kill for.
Mark's trying to work his charm, but I think Millie's saying, on your head be it, Mark. It's down to you to prove it can make a profit back in the UK.
OK, let's go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, sure.
Sure?
Yep.
Well, that's £70 for the two capitals and the table football. But are June and Jonty going to buy this fire screen?
The dealer who owns this is asking just over £200.
Oh, right.
Which I think is fine. It's worth that. But I can't see us making a profit on it.
Right.
I think it's lovely.
So it's very interesting,
Yeah.
but not saleable.
It looks like the fire screen was too much of a restoration challenge even for June's sewing skills. And at £200, it's another rejectable. While the teams are busy spending, I've been busy exploring the local area. Gironde has a strong Celtic culture, dating from large numbers of Irish, Welsh and Cornish immigrants crossing the seas in the 5th and 6th centuries. The arriving Britons gave the Brittany region its name and introduced Christianity. Gironde is very proud of its heritage. The town's main museum is housed in the fortified walls of the old city, in a 15th century entranceway, Porte Saint-Michel. The museum is open every day from April to September and is full of objects revealing the region's history. Just look at this fantastic bed. This one is 19th century and it's made entirely in chestnut and is called a lit clos, or closed bed. That's because these shutters actually did close. And this was meant to be given by parents to the newlywed couple and probably handed down throughout the generations. And if we look at these, there are heart emblems of love throughout. Here we have one, there, and again here. And on the bottom splat there, a very big heart indeed. And this chest is all part of it. This indeed was the marriage chest, which would have held their blankets and their clothes. And here in the corner, there's a little candle box to hold their candles, which would have helped them light their way through the night. And of course, all the candles for the house would also have been kept there. So it's a beautiful bed, but why is it so small? 2 adults would have slept in there. Well, that's because of 2 local superstitions. The first is the ancient Bretons believed that the tongue wasn't quite attached and that if you lay flat, you'd swallow it. And the second is they believed that only dead people lay absolutely horizontal. So to avoid death in the middle of the night, they would sleep upright. That is why the bed is so small. Meanwhile, let's hope our 2 teams are finding some good bargains back at Mesquite Market.
June, if you're into antiques, come and have a look at this. This collection here of fossils has all been dug up by the gentleman who owns this store.
Right.
And he's been telling me where he's found them, and they're all relatively local.
Oh, right.
Is this from the Loire Valley, these lovely ammonites here.
Oh, they're beautiful.
And believe it or not, because he's dug them up himself, look at the prices here. He's only asking 8 to 10 euros, so they're all under £10.
And do we know how old they are?
He said that they're 80 million years old, these ammonites.
80 million?
That's what I call an antique. From fossils to the Stone Age. But what have Millie and Mark found? It's a horse tether. But is it collectible or rejectable?
Le dernier prix, s'il vous plaît?
Oh, c'est le prix, vous savez. 20 euros.
But I haven't got a horse. Vous avez un cheval pour moi? No?
18.
18. That's basically...
Cans.
Cans.
Cans, is that 15?
Cans is 15. So about £10.
Ça va, 15?
Do you want it for £10?
Well, what do you think? Do you think that would sell? I like it very much, actually.
I'm not sure who'd buy it, but I can see where you're coming from.
Well, it would be a
doorstop.
good doorstop, wouldn't it?
Sounds like it's Millie's turn to convince Mark into a purchase. But how are June and Jonty getting on?
And look at these lovely things here. These are shark's teeth. These are fossilised shark's teeth. Aren't they amazing?
Oh, yeah.
Now, quite interestingly, the only part of a shark that's left when it comes to fossils are its teeth.
Right.
Because the rest of a shark's skull is all cartilage. So this is the only thing that's left, is shark's teeth. Some shark's teeth can be sold up to £250.
Good gracious.
Quite incredible. Now here he's asking the princely sum of €5 and €3.
Oh, wow.
Now, somehow, I don't know what you could do with those, you know, when it comes to retail, because I think they're fantastic value apart from
I think they are.
But something tells me these ammonites might be worth a little, little punt.
But are Millie and Mark going to take a punt on the horse-tethered doorstop?
Do you want it, tenner?
Yes, I think so.
What do you think we're going to get for it?
Well, of course, I've forgotten about that. Yeah,
You're not
maybe
thinking about home, are you? For a doorstop for you?
No.
Remember, we've got to sell it at a profit?
Absolutely, yes, yeah. Well, I like it. Let's get it.
If you like it, we shall buy it.
Yeah, good.
Go and pay the lady.
Millie's won Mark round this time, so let's hope she makes a profit. That's £10 for the horse tether.
So when it comes to purchasing fossils like this, you're really looking for the quality of the detail.
Right, yes, I know.
Now I've seen better quality here, but for €10, which is £7 for goodness
that
sake.
is a beautiful one.
You know, somebody might pick this up and want to take it home with them, just like we're doing now.
I do.
In fact, June liked the fossils so much she bought 3 for just £17. Ammonites became extinct 65 million years ago. But let's hope the market for them is alive and well. With Millie and Mark, it's another case of, can you guess what it is yet?
Hey, Mark, do you know what this is?
Yes, it's a ancient washing machine, is it not?
It's a posser, at least I think that's what it's called. That's
posser?
what my mother used to call it.
Really?
I remember as a child, she had a big round dolly tub. She used to put the clothes in, and slightly different than this, it used to have holes in the side.
That's it, yeah.
And we would take it up and down, and yeah, I can remember.
You remember that?
That takes me back some, yeah.
Let's talk about money. That's all that interests me.
I've forgotten what €5 is.
£3.50.
£3.50.
What are we going to get for it?
I reckon we could start at 10. Do you think?
You're on your own on that one. You're on your own. I like that. I like the towel rail. I think that's nice. I can see someone buying that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Look, cleaned up a bit.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a challenge, right?
Right.
We get that for £5, and we can get that for £5, and we'll see which one sells first. Because I'm not sure about that. You might have fond memories from childhood, but it doesn't do it for me.
Does it not?
Doorstop, perhaps. I don't know.
Let's
shake on it. Let's shake on it. That's a deal. Let's see who wins.
All right.
Mark, you're supposed to be competing with the other team, not with Millie. But at £3.50 each for the towel rail and the antique washing machine, it'll be fun to see which one sells first. But the teams aren't the only ones scouring the market for those hidden gems. I've been pretty busy looking out for Mescare Market star buys myself. These are so useful. Farmhouse benches. Now this one is dated about 1900. I can tell you that because of the legs. It's quite unusual to see early ones with solid legs like this. Early ones are usually very simple legs indeed, like 2 at that side and 2 at the far side. These are solid. This is actually made of pine, although you may not think that because of this colour. But what the last owner of this has done is varnish it very, very heavily. And if I owned this, the first thing I would do is strip it back with wire wool to the original colour and then linseed oil it to give it that nice patina of age and pine again. The second thing I would do is get rid of the woodworm. It is covered, riddled in woodworm holes, and it's live. I've just tapped it and the dust has come flying out of it. Easily repairable, because at any DIY shop now you can find a chemical to treat the woodworm. This today is £30. It must be one of the best bargains I've seen here, and I really hope that one of our 2 teams will see it. Now, June said this morning that she'd be looking out for dolls, but the good quality ones have been a bit thin on the ground so far.
Oh, that's got little eyes.
Spanish eyes.
Open and close, what?
Spanish eyes.
Yeah.
What are they, made of plastic, are they?
I think this one certainly is.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
But all that's hand embroidered, see all that?
Yeah, it's quite pretty, isn't it?
Cleverly done.
It's only €2.
Only €2.
Yeah.
That's probably about what they're worth.
Right.
£1.50.
No good for selling.
Still, there are some dolls out there. Let's hope June finds at least one worth buying today. But what's Millie been buying?
I've just bought that. I know it's not old, but I think it's quite nice.
I think it's nice.
What is it?
I like it.
Bookmark.
It's a bookmark.
Yeah.
Grateful.
Okay, it's
How much
new,
did you
but
pay for that?
5 years. That she wouldn't.
You've been done.
You reckon? We like that. How much is €5?
Well, June may not have had much luck finding dolls at the market yet, but I found some fantastic examples of antique dolls tucked away in a side street of Garonne. As children, we throw around our toys, we jump up and down on them, we even love them to death. And yet today's toys could be the antiques of the future. Antique toys can be very collectible. And today, we're looking at a unique collection of dolls here at Gironde. This collection comprises over 300 dolls, ranging from the 1850s to the 1960s. And there are some classic pieces of great value here. There are some French doll manufacturers whose names are well worth looking out for. Take this one, for instance. This one is made by Steiner. Now, Steiner started to produce dolls in 1855, but this model was made around 1900. She's got a bisque china head and she's articulated, which means she can move her joints. This one is valued at about £700. Now, if we go further on here, there are two by Jumeau. Now, Jumeau is probably the best known of all French doll manufacturers. And you can always tell a Jumeau doll by the red stamp at the back of her head. And again, these dolls are dated to about 1900. Jumeau dolls can fetch anything between £500 and £5,000, but very rare dolls can fetch up to tens of thousands of pounds. If you'd like details of this museum or any other location in the show, just log on to bbc.co.uk/lifestyle. What a treasure trove that was. Okay. And have also bought an alabaster stand for £23, which isn't an antique, but should sell for a profit to the right buyer. Millie and Mark have been just as busy snapping up the bargains. They've bought 12 items so far for a total of £150. This bamboo mirror was just £6, as was this retro floor lamp. Great prices. They must have haggled hard for those. And remember, Millie and June will be competing to sell their French finds for the biggest profit when they get back home. Later on, we'll be finding out the winner, who will be taking today's prize home with them. So let's hope they're doing the deals in France that will make them the profits in the UK. Well, ladies, this is your opportunity to win the best bargain of them all, the bonus item. Whoever wins this gets to put it on their stand back home, and the money you take for it will be pure profit. So it could mean the difference between winning and losing, so it's quite a nice thing to have. But let me tell you about it. First of all, pretty obviously, it's a box. Basic wood is pine, base metal, decorative corners, not a great deal of weight to it. What is it? People are fascinated by boxes. So when we open it, it will tell us exactly what it's all about. Now, it's all in French, and if you understand French, this tells you it's for cotton. So the box is just to hold cotton reels. But this tells us a lot more. It's a souvenir item because all these ladies come from various Breton or Brittany towns, and also it tells us that it's made about 1900, judging by its condition. So there we have it, a very nice, simple souvenir item from the region. So the simple question is, and I'd like your answers in pounds sterling, please, how much did I pay for it and why you think that amount? June, let's start with you.
I haven't got a lot of idea. I'm going to say £55. I'm going to say I don't think it's worth more than that because it's pine. I like it because I do needlework and it's very appealing.
Right.
So £55.
£55 to you, June. Millie, how about you?
Well, it is a fairly basic box, isn't it? But you have the little history inside, and I think the French do take store with the boxes. You did say it was a bargain, so maybe, let me think, £18.
18, did you say?
18, yes.
Millie, congratulations. I'd pay £10 for it. Well done, you. So the next time you see this, we'll be on your stand back in the UK market. Now, Millie and June, your experts are waiting patiently for you, and could you just tell them you have 2 hours left? Off you go. And as our teams have only got 1 day to spend their £350 worth of euros, they really need to get shopping in earnest.
Oh, what a charmer.
Might June be about to find her dolls?
We've got doll.
No, it's plastic.
It's plastic.
No good, no good.
But it turns out Jonty spotted some dolls earlier on another stall and has reserved them to show June later. And as usual with Mark, butter wouldn't melt.
So you open the top up and you'd put icy cold water in there. You'd wash it out first. And then that would keep the coldness, because, you know, heat rises, cold goes down, and underneath there would be butter. And that would keep the butter nice and cold.
Right.
Terracotta. Look at that, it's lovely.
So is there a bit of age to that, or is
I don't think it's, I think it's probably less than 50 years old, but
Right.
terracotta is the whole sort of getting back to natural fibres and natural organic styles
that's true.
is very in fashion, in
Yes,
vogue
yeah.
at the moment. Washed up on a kitchen side, or a granite side, or
Would
a
look
wood
good.
side, that would look lovely,
Yeah.
especially a pine work surface
Can't
or
wait
something.
to scrub it.
And for £3, that's a steal. But I wonder if June would be impressed with the dolls Jonty's put aside for her.
I kept them specially for her. They're hidden in this box.
Oh, good,
I
good,
left
good.
Tintin to guard.
Well, I hope they're going to be nice.
I actually quite like the basket, actually.
All right, yes.
What do you reckon?
Oh, he's nice. Oh, yes. Oh, I like clowns anyway. My husband loves clowns.
Now, very typically French. Do you see this bisque face here?
Yes.
Which is underglazed porcelain, so it's the first firing of porcelain.
I see.
It looks like Millie might have bagged herself a bargain too.
Okay, Mark.
What's the condition like? The condition's extremely important.
Well, inside's a bit tight, but the hinge is fine.
I'm not really worried about the interior, because somebody would just want it as, you know, so long as the exterior's good.
Give that a good polish, that will come up nice, I reckon. And I like the way the hinges are done. You didn't
Yeah.
say this was for Le Docteur?
Yes, it's called a Gladstone
Le
bag.
Docteur.
The prix? Combien?
Pounds.
That? £15. I mean, for a tenner it's worth a go.
Now, it's a lovely story to this, because the lady who owns the market stall, who owns these two dolls in
Yes.
here, they were hers as a child.
Oh, were they? Oh, I don't
So
know
she's
how she
selling
can
them.
bear to get rid of them.
I think it's
Oh,
lovely.
it must be sad to see them
And
go.
lovely porcelain feet as well.
Yeah. Oh, what about the other one?
Have a look.
Oh, she's not quite so nice. I like the little dress. Do you think that's original?
It's all original.
All right.
It's all original. So
Oh, she got it.
there's no distinctive maker's name. I always look on the back
I see.
for the maker's name
Right.
of a doll. So on the back of the head, that's sometimes where you see
I see.
where these were made, or the factory make.
But,
Again, she's got porcelain legs and feet.
Yeah.
But I tend to agree with you. I think the clown's charming.
Yes.
But Mark's keen for Millie to buy another boy's toy, this time a First World War shell casing shaped into a vase.
Oh, it's trench wear,
It's
is
a
it?
trench art.
Right.
So somebody's probably done that in the trenches.
that's
And you see it says
lovely.
19... Oh, it's really hard to... It
Is
looks
there a
probably...
date on?
Yeah, it looks like 1914 or
Oh, I can
1916.
see here now, yeah.
Yeah. Now, that somebody's really made a good effort of actually sort of
Yeah.
twisting that in. Combien? 22. C'est bon. Merci, monsieur. Give him 20 euros. We bought the pair for 20 euros. There's got to be a profit there, isn't there?
It's lovely. Can I polish it up?
You can do what you like with it.
Bossy old Mark is telling Millie how to spend her money again. He spent £4 on that shell case, but at least Millie got her Gladstone bag as well for just £10. And I think June's rather keen on buying those dolls. But will the price be right?
And can you believe that I have negotiated a price of €3 each? So that's
Never.
£1.50 each.
Well, for €3. Oh, yes, a definite.
Have I done some good work?
You've done
Boss?
some excellent work.
Now, how about the basket? 'Cause I quite like
Well,
to
it'd be
see the
useful to
basket.
put them in.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
all in all,
Let's put them back in the box.
2 porcelain dolls and the basket for £2 apiece. There's got to be a profit in that. I've left the teams to it while I take some time out to find the prize for our winner. It's a pleasure to take a stroll around the picturesque streets of Gironde. But I need to keep focused on the task in hand, finding the perfect prize for Millie or June. I'm very tempted to consider this as today's prize for either Millie or June. The first thing that drew me to it was its shape. Just look at this lovely, long, elegant jug here with a nice twisted handle. Now, this is dated about 1860 and it's hand-blown. How do I know that? Well, we look underneath and that mark there, that indentation, is called the pontile. Now, that's where the glassmaker would have cut it off after he'd blown out the glass. Now, this is made for soft drinks or beer, and it would have been brought out to the garden on a nice warm summer's day on something like this. It's called a cabaret set. Now, here's our water jug, and there are 6 glasses around it, all matching, and all again on a matching tray. It's called a cabaret set. But you know, even on its own, this just stands as a lovely, lovely object. And I think I've made up my mind. I've talked myself into it. This is today's prize. And the person with the best buys at today's market will be in with the best chance of winning the prize back in the UK. Meanwhile, here in France, time's ticking on. It's still very busy here at Mesquer Market, and I hope our teams are buying for Britain because they've only got 1 hour left to go. And Millie and Mark have got £68 to spend, while
The problem is, it's less than 10 years old. It's actually dated 1997.
it may not be antique, but it could still be a bargain.
The price is right.
At last, one of the teams has spotted my star buy.
What do you like?
This bench.
The bench,
Oh,
yes. That's
yes.
got bags of characters.
Oh, I
hasn't it?
love it.
That's
Absolutely
a
love
very
it.
French farmhouse. You see on the side here, those marks on the side? That means somebody's used that as a soaring horse. once upon a time.
Oh, of course, yes. Now, I suppose that would detract from the value of it.
Well, for the Victorian dining table it would, but with this it sort of adds a bit of character.
Yes, well, it would add character.
Because there are
certainly,
marks, there are acceptable marks, and
Yes.
there are marks that just gone too far.
And there are prices and acceptable prices. So, what are Millie and Mark going to spend on their tea set?
Combien, monsieur, s'il vous plaît?
10 euros.
7 quid.
Okay, you have it, please.
A tea set for £7. That's what I like to see, some speed shopping. Millie and Mark are setting the spending benchmark for June and Jonty.
Yeah, I think this is worth a purchase. What do you think?
Yes, I think so. I like it very much indeed.
And remember the golden rule, you've got to ask the best price. Okay?
Right.
Monsieur, quel prix pour le bon?
60 euros.
60.
Jonty won't settle for €60 knowing about that woodworm.
This is too much. This is too expensive.
50 euros.
He's come down another €10 to 50, but Jonty's still not giving in.
I need your best price, monsieur. For me. For madame.
Vous payez en liquide.
Cash.
Yeah.
40.
Okay, merci. That's fine. That's 40 euros. So
Merci.
that's under £30. I'm very pleased. Brilliant.
That's £27 in cash for the farmhouse bench. Good bargaining, Jonty.
We've got 36 items. We've got, well, in my reckoning, we've got seconds to go.
Right.
Right, Jim, we've got some cash burning a hole in our pockets. What about this table here? Skittles, no?
No, they're full of woodworm.
I like
about
these
this?
decanters. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Have a look. Is it broken? No?
What an expert you are. I taught you well.
Good teacher.
Twice you've pointed that out to me.
Yes, I have. I quite like it, actually, yes.
Right, this is our last chance. Do you want to go for it, yes or no?
Yes.
Sure?
Yeah.
Monsieur? We have 12 euros. And that is our money Fini. It's possible for the placard? Oui?
That's Millie and Mark spent up £60 on the cabinet.
Around the turn of the century, so that's a good sort of around 100 years old, I think. That's pretty.
Wow.
That's pretty. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
And by contrast, I like this. That's Art Deco. You see the simplicity of the sail, the sort of
Yes,
bulbous shape,
Yeah.
simple Art Deco lines.
Right.
So there are 2 crystal decanters here. That's €60. That's exactly what
how
we
much
got
we've
left.
got left.
Excellent.
So,
We're done.
We're happy.
I'm very happy.
Very happy.
2 contrasting but equally lovely decanters at £20 each. Time's up! Our teams have had just one day to spend £350 on at least 10 collectible items to sell on at an antiques market back in the UK. Let's hope they've chosen wisely. June and Jonty have the distinction of having bought the oldest antique we've ever seen on the show. Those fossils, which are 80 million years old as dinosaurs. But I'm not convinced the castle desk set was a good buy, even at £3. It's quite a quirky item and not to everyone's taste. Millie and Mark have splashed out £60 on the capitals. Millie wasn't too convinced, but Mark reckons they'll make a profit. Well, time will tell. They've also spent a fifth of their budget on one item, this cabinet. Let's hope that's a gamble that will pay off handsomely back at our UK market. Teams, it looks like you've done incredibly well. Millie, how are you feeling now?
Absolutely shattered.
Why am I not surprised? Millie, what's your favourite thing that you've bought here today?
Well, I think the numbers, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they'll do quite well.
Very decorative indeed. And Mark, will they make you money?
They will make us quite a lot of money, actually,
But what
Chris.
will make you the most money?
Well, it's a bit of a toss-up between the numbers and the capitals. I think they're fabulous. They're so interior designery.
Absolutely
Is
right.
there such a word as that, Chris? I don't know.
You've just made it. If there isn't, there is now. Very nice indeed. Well done. And June, how are you?
Much better now, thank you, Chris.
You're nursing that doll?
Yes, well, we managed to find 2 dolls
Yes.
today.
Is that your favourite item, though, June?
No, I like this bench very, very much indeed.
Well, I have to agree with you because that was one of my star buys today, and I'm
wow.
glad you two picked it up.
Excellent.
Jonty, what's going to make you the most money, do you think?
Well, I think it has to be the alabaster stand. That was a great find, a great buy. But I agree with you, Chris. I think this bench, there's a lot of profit in it. We obviously share the same eye.
We do indeed. Well done, both teams. Now, the next time you see everything here, we'll be back in the UK. See you there. Well, we've left the sunny sights of Brittany and we've flown back to the UK. And here we are in the grounds of the magnificent Grimsthorpe Castle in Lincolnshire. This annual weekend fair is a 3-day event of massive scale. And this weekend, over 4,000 people will swoop here hoping to pick up a right royal bargain. But will our 2 Lancashire lasses have as much gusto as they had in Gironde? Will they manage to sell all their French finds in just one day? More importantly, who will be crowned king or rather queen of the castle? Millie and June are busy setting out their French wares. The tables are turned and they're now the vendors and will be on the other side of the haggle. So let's hope they're up to the task and hold out for the best prices. The teams have just got one day to sell absolutely everything, and the winner will be whoever's taken the most money at the end of the day. So let's see whose sales patter will make their items fly off the stall.
But I'll do you a better deal than... I think that's 100.
Thank you.
Millie's starting with her horse tether.
Big enough as it is. Now listen, do you want anything tethered?
That territory now, aren't we?
The answer is very important. Be very careful. I can't entice you with this then, can I not? In France, they use this to put round the horse's neck.
I like your style, Millie. That horse tether may be hard to shift, but your sales pitch is impeccable.
I've got £25 on it.
June's using the same mix of friendly, informative charm to sell her fossils.
They're actually 18 million years
have
old.
you? What have you got there?
18 million. I bet this young man is interested in things like that, are you?
You've been digging in his friend's garden, weren't you?
Have you? Have you dug up anything like this? No.
How much?
Were you interested in all three, or?
Possibly.
Possibly. OK, well, I can let you have all three for £30. Well, what would you like to pay for them, then?
Asking for an offer is always a great way to get a deal started.
Make me an offer, because we have to sell today, you see.
You've got to sell.
Yeah, everything on the stores come from France, and we have to sell everything
Right.
during this day.
20.
22.
20.
Am I going to lose a sale?
June knows when to give way to get the sale, and she does get a small profit of £3, but she's not stopping there.
OK. Can I interest you in anything else while you're here?
How much is this little chappie?
This little man. He's £4.
4. Oh, right. Oh, I'll take it at that.
Oh, right, excellent. Thank you very much.
Bingo! June started off the day well with 2 sales, her fossils and her beloved Pierrot doll. Meanwhile, Millie's drawing the buyers as well.
So how much? 15.
Oh, OK.
They're very nice, actually, and I know there isn't a great age to them, but they're very typically French, aren't they? Quite pretty. And the little 12?
10 and I'll take them.
Try and meet in the middle. 11?
No, 10 and you've got a deal.
I've worked round here, haven't I?
Yeah,
It's a lot easier in London, I'll tell you.
I think we'll accept that.
OK,
and I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Right, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Millie and June are turning out to be natural saleswomen. That's another profit for Millie, £3 on the enamel tea set.
I'll take my hat off if I was wearing one, used right. There's a small profit there. We've made about £3 profit on that, so
Yeah.
well done.
Not
well
bad.
done, you.
Yeah.
So-
I thought it was pretty. It would grace anybody's kitchen.
It was very pretty.
Yeah.
It was
I know
reasonably
it wasn't
priced.
all, but yeah, she was quite happy.
I agree. I sometimes sort of don't look at anything. I only look at old stuff
Yeah.
normally. So
Yeah.
I bow to your better knowledge of people's tastes. Well done. Another small profit.
Hurrah!
Hoorah!
While Millie and June are busy selling, I'm off to have a nosy round the market. It's always a good idea to check out the competition, so you know what you're up against. We're not buying today, but there are still a few items catching my eye. There's a lot of interesting stuff at this market. New stuff, old stuff, things you wouldn't want, but a lot of things you would want. For instance, let's have a look at this. Butler's tray. And it's called a butler's tray not only because it was used by butlers, but by all the maids in the house. And you know what? I think it's one of the most useful things that a house could have today because they just fold away. Now, this to me doesn't look English because let's look at this design here. That's not an English design at the back. That's very much a continental design. I would say German. Now then, they come in various styles. They started to be fashionable back in George III's reign, about 1760, and they were made right up to about 1920. And the top here, this tray part of this, is dated about 1900, I would say. We've got a walnut wooden top there, walnut sides, and it does need a lot of tender, loving care to bring it up to true condition. Now, what we always look for with butler's trays is to check that the top actually does belong to the bottom. Now, various things tell us. The colour, first of all. Does this colour match that colour? Well, no, it doesn't. Secondly, the fit. Butler's trays are precision fitting. This one doesn't fit exactly. It is today here for sale at £200. You might think that's a lot, but an early English butler's tray in good condition would knock you back thousands of pounds. The weather's hotting up, and so is the market. The weekend buyers are out in force. Jonty's selling tea to the British. Has that British tea set we've brought all the way from France found itself a home back in the UK?
It's all perfect, is it? It's not all...
I think it is. We bought this in France, believe it or not, in a French market.
Everything is from France.
Oh, it's all from
And
France.
we're selling everything.
Oh, I'm not so sure if I
We have to sell
want
everything today.
any French thing.
Well, that's why we had to salvage it, you see. We had to sort of bring it back.
Bring it back, yeah.
Bring it back to its proper home.
Yeah, I think we'll have that. 40 is your best, is it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right, so I'll have that.
Good work, Jonty. That's a £13 profit on the tea set, putting June into the lead. But not for long. Millie's right behind her, selling the cabinet she picked out in France at a £35 profit, showing she's got a great eye for a bargain. Swiftly followed by another sale, the box full of enamel house numbers for £55.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lovely. I might just see you.
You never know.
June's quirky castle desk set is the next to go for £28, a whopping £25 profit, as it cost them just £3 back in France. And Millie keeps up the sales, albeit for less profit, selling the bamboo mirror for £8 and the Gladstone bag for £10, only £1 more than she paid for them.
I'll put that under your arm now. Hold it tight. You've got that. Thank you very much. Yes, bye.
Millie's bagging the volume of sales, but June's been holding out for a profit until now.
Yes, I'll meet you halfway then. £20. Okay. Yes.
She sells her decanter for £20, just breaking even. Back in France, Millie and Mark had a bet. Millie wanted to buy the posser and Mark wanted to buy the towel rail. They bought both at £3.50 each, and Mark bet Millie his towel rail would sell before her posser.
It's a bit woodwormy, this. Really,
And as the towel rails just sold for £5, Mark's won the bet. Bad luck, Millie. Let's hope the posser can redeem itself by selling for a profit later on. But June's luck is in. The star buy has walked off the stall for £40, a £13 profit. But what about Millie and Mark's capitals?
It's up to you. On your head, be Millie.
No, it has
Your choice.
No, it has to be. No, I'm so sorry. It has to be 50. No, I know it's cash in the hand, but look, I can't just give them away. And we'll
Go to 45. Go to 45. Go on.
Well, he doesn't want to go to 45.
Go on, go to 45.
It breaks my heart, but 45. Oh, can you hear everybody weeping? You really will make a good profit on it.
Well, Millie wasn't convinced about those in France, and she was right.
Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Chris.
Well, it looks like you're moving a few things.
Oh, yes, we've done reasonably well, I think.
Reasonably well. This table looks like it's nearly empty. Any surprises, Mark? Anything that's gone so quickly
Do you
that
know
you
what
thought...
surprises me the most? Millie has spoken to nearly every single person at this fair and had a really good conversation with each one of them.
Sounds a bit like you then,
She's
Mark,
a very
doesn't
good
it?
sales lady, I'll tell you that.
I can see it. And how about you, June?
Well, I think we've done reasonably well. We've still got a few bits left.
I think you've done more than reasonably well. Any surprises for you, Jonty?
Yeah, it's all cleared very well. I mean, all our sales have been good profits so far, so very, very
That's
pleased.
what we
Very
like to hear. But you've both got a fair lot left to go, and I'm here to tell you you've only got 1 hour left. So think of a plan and sell it.
You had it for more, but it's the end of the day.
With just an hour left to go, June's wasting no time going for the hard sell.
Now, look, I've got more left than Millie. Wouldn't you like these lovely little French wine carafes?
Nice try, June. Both teams have dropped their prices to rock bottom, and people are flocking to pick up an end-of-day bargain. Millie's still got that football table left, which Mark convinced her to buy in France. But she's decided to shift it by a change of strategy, selling it to the under 5.
Come on, sweetheart, I'll help you. Go on, Will. Hey!
Thank you, Mummy.
Thank you, Daddy.
This one I want to give a fiver if you'd like a fiver for it. Would you like a fiver for that, young lady?
Can't you just give me a little bit more than that?
£5.01.
Oh.
That's plain cheeky. But as any money's better than none, June's let it go for a fiver.
What's your best on that?
£1 each.
Thank you very much.
You know what else you want for a pound? Come on.
That'll do fine.
What about the possum? We had a bet.
Yeah, good one. That's full of
Listen,
wood,
he's
isn't
going to win if you don't buy that.
Make me an offer.
it? Give me a quid for it.
Yes,
Sold.
done. I think we've won. Have we done?
You've done, girl.
Oh!
This is sold out. Well done.
Well done.
Excellent.
The posse went.
That spurred June and Jonty on. And if the bargain spotters won't come to Jonty, then Jonty must go to the bargain spotters.
Have that for a tenner. We started asking 30 quid for that at the beginning of the day.
Jonty's sales technique is working a treat, with a set of glasses and pink carafe sold. It's another loss, but they're clearing that stall. Now it's June's turn to head off in search of a sale. June had some interest in her decanters earlier from another dealer, and she's hunted her down. Sold for £30, a loss of £10, but what initiative from June at the end of a tough selling day. Time's up. All the other dealers are going home with most of our stock, so let's see what Millie and June made and lost their money on. Millie and Mark's best profit was £35 on the cabinet she chose out in France. They made losses on 2 of Mark's choices, the Capitals, which lost them £18, and the table football, which went for half its purchase price. Millie should have stuck to her guns. June and Jonty made the most money on a single item on their Castle inkstand, which sold for £25 profit. They took a few minor hits on some of their cheaper items, but most disappointing was the wrought iron table, which went for just £2, a loss of £18. But what we want to know is who's made the most money back from their original budget of £350. Teams, congratulations! Empty tables, that's fantastic! Millie, what was the highlight of the day for you?
It has to be the posse.
Oh, the posse! You sold it?
Yeah.
Well done. And Mark, what was the most profit for you today?
Well, one of the best items was
Yeah.
definitely the glazed cabinet, and it made a good profit, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Very pleased to get rid of that.
Excellent. Well done indeed. And June, are you a bit tired, darling?
I am a little bit
Yes?
now, yes.
But it's been a very good
It's been
day.
a wonderful day.
What was the highlight for you, June?
Well, we sold the bench.
Yes.
Your
my
bench.
my star buy. Well done. Did that make
And-
you money?
It made us money, and
Good.
it's going to Spain. It's going to sit on the veranda of a home in Spain.
Well done. And what made you the most profit, John?
Well, I think the tea service was a cracking sale. That was really good.
That went quite early on, didn't it?
And it was to a great enthusiast who loved Art Deco. His wife didn't like it though.
But he paid the money, and that's
yes,
what matters.
That's right.
Well, teams, the moment you've been waiting for, from the £350 in euros I give you in France, this is what you've done with it. Millie and Mark, today you have taken £388.20.
Wow.
Jonty and June, you have taken £320. That makes you the winner. Congratulations, Millie. Excellent.
Sorry,
That
Mark.
makes you the winner of this 19th century French glass drinking jug. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Both teams, you have done incredibly well. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.